Good afternoon. We're the August 1823 Stitchers. That's Angie.
That's Sally.
And today is May 15th, 2025. And this is Flosstube episode number 33. We'd like to welcome any new viewers. And we hope you like what you see on what we give. We stitch a variety of things. And any returning viewers, we appreciate you coming back. Like we do usually, I'll give you a little rundown. If we have any previous finishes, we'll show that. I know Angie's got one. If we have fully finished objects, we'll show that. I have one too, because Angie and I are going to a women's retreat this weekend, and 35 years ago we started by making hand-stitched name tags, and it's just kind of been a thing. And we also put a bead on it to represent the year that you went, because there's a different bead for every year. And this year's theme is cafe chocolate. So I found these wooden beads that some look like dark chocolate, some look like milk chocolate, some look like Hershey's Hugs, and some look like white chocolate. So that's what we have. And then we have any finished objects. I know I haven't finished anything since we last filmed. Any new starts, whips, we'll do needles up. We may have a book review, but we may not. Stash investment, Stitchy Kindness, then we have plans, and then we'll say goodbye. So, go for it, Angie.
Last month, I showed you the April version of this. This is Stitching with the Housewives month-to-month series. And the barn is Chantel, I can never remember the number. 141.
Yeah.
Sally does my finishing. Because otherwise it would never be finished.
Yeah, well, I got a stack of stuff I need to finish myself.
So this is May's version, and when I go over plans and talk about July, that's what I'm talking about, is doing that version, because I'm almost done with July. I'm determined I'm going to finish it this month. So Sally will have time to get it done by July.
Yeah, that just means I need to put aside several work days. Well, I have a fully finished object. And like I said, name tags. This one happens to be Rachel's. She's a first timer, so she only has one little bead. It's over here. My name tag, I'm gonna have to do an extension because I've got 35 beads on it, and I'm running out of spaces to stitch them on. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so finished objects. We don't have any of those. Do you have any new starts, Angie?
I was supposed to start the Donkey Biscorn U, and I got it set up in the Q-snap and everything, and I went to do the outside stitching. I texted Sally and said, do I use 2 strands or 1 strand to do that outside border that you use to put the Biscorn U together? Got my answer. Went to get I had kitted and pipped everything. I go to pick up 3609. I have the floss drop for it. I have the number on it. It is the only one that I did not have the floss for.
Oh no.
So I got my friend to pick it up when she was going to Florence. She picked it up at Hobby Lobby for me. And then a few days later, she actually helped me get it around the whatever that thing's called, floss winder, or whatever that's called. Mm-hmm. And get it put on the floss drop, but I didn't stitch the border yet. So the donkey, poor guy, it was supposed to be started May 9th because that's National Donkey Day.
Oh.
And I thought I could just wait till next year to do that National Donkey Day, but I really want to do the Donkey Biscorn U.
Well, go ahead and start.
And I really want to do a Biscorn U this year. I try to do a Biscorn U every year. We've got a friend who she could do 10 a month. She just whips them right out.
She does. And we're not talking about little tiny ones. I mean, these things are massive.
Big ones. And she designs them too.
That's true.
So, but not me. Yeah. One a year. And it's on my little bingo. We have on a chapter, we're doing a bingo thing.
That's right.
And a Biscorn U finish is one of my squares that I want to do. So, I'm going to take it with me to
the retreat.
This weekend's retreat. Because I just got to count to 71 4 times, go around
Take some counting pins to go with it.
Yeah, so I'm going to take my little needle Biscorn U.
That has all that
Mystery Biscorn U that I use for my needles.
There you go.
And counting pins.
Yes.
So, yes.
I was using.
I might get to it. I might not. It's not on my year of whips. So it's not
That's good.
an absolute necessity to do. It's just a desire.
I got you.
So
I haven't
I
started
don't
on
have
any
a
of my
new
projects.
start. I was supposed to, but we've got 2 planned
Well, we've got
for.
May 23rd. We're going to start
Yeah.
the South Carolina spool. What's the other one?
Well, it might not be a new start, but Memorial Day,
Oh,
patriotic
Patriotic
stitching, the end of the month. Well, it's actually
It's a little bit early.
it's early this year.
Yeah,
it's
it's
in
not.
the 30s like it
No,
normally
it's-
is. It's in the
it's
early
like-
20s or something.
Yes, in fact, isn't it
So-
like not
It's
this
a week
weekend, but
from
next
tomorrow.
Weekend? Yes,
Excuse me, a week from Monday.
a week from Monday. Yes, we're trying to
So-
get our bell choir end of year party together
Mm-hmm.
because one of our ladies is moving to Monk's Corner, and they leave on June 1st.
Well, I'm going to just spend that weekend. I'm going to do patriotic that weekend, and included in that is that July
Oh,
month
okay.
to month
Well,
because it's got flags on it.
I've got those 2 other
So-
spools when I bought that spool trio, or I may start the South Carolina, not the South Carolina spool but the South Carolina. It's got red, white, and blue on it.
Mhm.
It's the thread milk design
Mhm.
state one.
Yeah.
Yes, I keep
So
every time I go
got new
do my
starts
craft room, I see it.
planned and stuff, but didn't make it this.
Yeah, I haven't. No, I figured. I don't know. I might start.
I
that
had-
South Carolina spool this weekend. I don't know because 23rd is next week.
I had sinus surgery since our last one,
Yes.
so it'll be 3 weeks Monday, and I absolutely did not stitch the first week after the surgery. Kind of hard. My swollen nose.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
I felt funny even putting my glasses on my nose, let alone But
Try and stitch. Yeah.
I haven't done all that much stitching, and I'm anxious to get back into it, but we'll see.
Well, let's go ahead and get into our whips. And the first one I want to show is my temperature whip. I am caught up to last week.
Me too.
So I am doing the Wander with me. It's the cat one, and these are from Stitchy Mommy. It's amazing how she figures out how to do these things, and how she charts it. Because I also have the Quaker one, the Quaker temperature, and it's fascinating. So I'm coming around onto I'm not gonna undo. Well, you can see pretty much. There's just a little hole with my hoop, but mine's on 18 count. It looks like ivory, Ada. And we're getting in some warm. And today it is very warm and muggy. But last week, Mother's Day, I think the high was 70, which is, not too high around here. Because we are into the 80s, so I've got the oranges in there. And then over here is there's a fish bowl. So when I get a few more of these around, because I don't like counting out too far. A couple of stitches, I'm good, but I don't want to count all the way across the. So when I get closer, I'll do that. But yeah, I'm curling around. It's kind of cool.
Well, yours is Wander with Me by Stitching Mommy. Mine is Walk with Me by Stitching Mommy. I'm going to put this bag behind it because it's shining through there. Mine's on 16 count Seafoam by Barefoot Needle Arts. And notice I have the oranges in here, and I put in an apple tree.
Yes, you did.
So I've got the pathway going down here, and this is where actually the bottom of the page is. I went ahead and, because some of the paw was shown, I was able to place it, and then it came back up into the page. Anyway, I'm gonna do what I can. It's hard to believe. Now this is what the whole piece is going to be. This is the size of the whole piece. So when I go down here and back around, that's halfway through the year.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we are in the 5th month.
So
yeah, we're in May.
I had to buy a needle minder to do this one because I was running out of needle minders. And when I set up the donkey thing with the Q-snap, I didn't have needle minder put on it.
Oh no.
I'm out of needle minders. I need to get some, but I'm being picky because
You are being picky because I see them up on your
well,
refrigerator.
no, but those won't fit well in a bag without them tearing up because they're the tin can ones, some of them.
Oh yeah.
And also, made with like Coke cans
Yes.
and stuff.
Correct.
And they're very flimsy.
They are flimsy.
And then the ones we made, the magnet keep coming off.
Oh no.
So I don't feel like I got a dog and I don't want the magnet to fall off
No,
on the floor and then my
definitely
dog
not.
swallow it. So
No, because then he attach himself to the refrigerator.
yeah, so I didn't, I need to get some needle minders that work. I've got some popsicles, but that's for my niece's birthday.
Oh, yeah, that's
She
right.
drives the popsicle truck, it's actually an ice cream truck, but she calls it anything's popsicle.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a barn. I've got a West Virginia map, but that's gonna go on my West Virginia start.
You are picky.
So, and I don't have a needle minder to put South Carolina. I don't have one.
Wait, I thought you had the South Carolina one from P&B Making Memories.
I do, but I've got it on another piece.
Oh,
I've
okay.
got I think it's on Wilbur.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
So
I
I need to get some needle minders, and I need to go on Gina's Unique Boutique
That's where you like to get
and
them
Mad
from.
for Minders because those are the two that I really like.
I just need to bring mine
And
to
also,
you and let you go through my stash.
P&B
and
Making
feel
Memories.
for you.
I haven't been on theirs for a while
No,
to get
I
some of
haven't.
their wooden ones.
Yeah, I haven't been there either.
I need to go on theirs and get a corner square too. I want to get a corner square because
You
I
need a
seem
corner
to have misplaced mine. I can't find it anywhere. And I thought, well, it wouldn't hurt to have another corner square. And as soon as I buy one, I'll find the
Of
other one.
course you will.
But it doesn't hurt to have another one. So I need to go on those. But I'm trying to save for moving too. So
Yeah. Well,
So-
like I said, I need to just bring my couple of tins of needle minders that I have
Mhm.
and let you just pick some out.
I just spoke of
His eyes on
this
the sparrow.
piece you were doing to Garden Goose Stitcher. She was saying people don't use 2-strand loop starts.
I use two-strand all the
She
time.
said everybody's using one strand. She can't find anybody I know. It's like, okay, let me list the floss tubers.
Two strands.
including
I
us.
prefer
We
two
use the
strands.
2-strand loop
Yes.
start if we can.
And I do.
So-
I figured I had to do it from the top, so I don't have to flip over.
Unless the only time I use one strand is back stitching. And even then,
Yeah.
I hate that. But I'll do it.
Because you don't have a place to tack it down.
Yeah.
And I hate doing away waist knots.
It
and
makes
that
a
kind of thing.
bad back, to do that to me.
Yeah,
So,
I do. I
I
struggle
don't know
with
how to
that.
do
So
pin stitching and all that stuff. So loop stitching's
that's
very
why.
neat.
That's why I stick with 32 and below. To tell you the truth.
So.
I have some 36,
But
but
this is
and
the
I do
piece
have a
that I
sampler.
mentioned specifically. I said
Oh,
if
okay.
you can do a 2-strand loop start
Yeah.
with his eyes on the sparrow,
Mm-hmm.
and it be gorgeous. I don't know why anybody would want to do one strand.
Well, the
frankly.
pattern called for 1 strand on 28, and I'm like, not happening because I like my 2 strands. I like my loop start.
You don't get to see the color on
Well,
it.
there's that too.
Yours is the first one I've
gotta-
seen the color on. It's not just because of the over 2, but it's the 2 strands that you can actually see how beautiful this is.
And because I'm using DMC, I don't have to stitch each individual one
Yep.
and have to line up to make sure I have it. Yeah, no, I just stick on my floss drop and go. But anyway, so speaking of, his eyes on the sparrow, and if you've been here for a while, you know that I turned 60 in August, and I've had this kitted up for a while. I decided that's what I was going to do for my 60th birthday. This is my project. So it's by Beth Twist. It was for her, I think it was after she had created 100 patterns, she did that one, and she was like, it's huge, and yes it is. My goal was to do 1 page every 2 weeks, but I'm running a little bit behind on that. But I do have the complete top row done. Can you see that, Adrian? Because I can't
Yes.
see that. And as you see, I've started on the next row, and border's not my favorite, so I just got that. That's what's on the page without the flowers. But I've got the deer. I finished him because half of him was on the top row, and that flower I finished up this morning, and that funky looking. I thought it was a flamingo until I put the color in it. I mean, he stands like a flamingo, and then I have his eye and the eye of that. So, but here, because last time I did not have it totally finished, the top row totally finished, but here it is. 28 count mushroom Lugana, 2/2, and it's with DMC. It's best DMC conversion. She called for all over dyes, but again, I like stitching in a row and not having to cross each one as I do it. So that's where I am. I was working on that this morning, so I took it out of the hoop and put it in here. And I'm planning on taking my Lowry stand. You want me to take my other Lowry stand? I got 2 Lowry stands.
I don't know. I've never used one, so I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Okay, well, I mean, it holds. It's when you start doing your canvas piece, it's really good for that. But I'll have one. Yeah, well, I'll at least have that one. Taking that with me because it'll fit in one of these buckets that I have. All right, that's all I have for whips. Next on our list would be needles up.
Well, I have 2 whips to show,
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
such as they are.
See, you have more than I have. You
I
can
told
stitch
you
it
I
more.
had 3, counting the temperature
Oh,
piece.
I wasn't paying attention. I had a brain fart. Sorry.
This is Yasmin's Made with Love, Uniqueness of Others. And I'm just doing the peacock. I'm doing a DMC
So
version.
not the words.
And I'm doing it on 16 count Cosmo, custard Cosmo, which I get from Fat Quarter Shop. And I love Cosmo. For one thing, it's unforgiving. I mean, not unforgiving. It's forgiving. With all the frogging I've had to do on this piece. Oh, I meant to bring my little wand over here, my little tin with the wand and the frogger.
Oh,
But you can't see like pieces of fuzz or, you know, big holes and stuff like that from having to frog because it's so forgiving. And I like
Well, that's
soft and I like Cosmo.
it's coming along nicely.
And the only place I've been able to find it is Fat Quarter
Quarter
Shop.
Shop.
Anyway, I've been working on ninja stitches. Is that what you call them?
Ninja stitches, because you got one here, one
Okay.
there, one
Yep.
everywhere else.
Like here, there is a yellow stitch, a yellow stitch, and a yellow stitch in that feather. Then you go down to this one and you have a yellow stitch, a yellow stitch, and a yellow stitch. And you keep going down to each feather and that's what you do. Then you got to do a yellow green stitch. Okay, then you got a different yellow, which has to go in there. Well, yellow on yellow is not any more fun than white on white.
Why don't
Just saying.
why don't you
or
do
black
the
on black.
Why don't you do the background and just leave the holes for those, and then go back
Well,
and fill them
because that would be intelligent. So this is what this piece has done to me, okay? First of all, this one I only have one color left to do, and that's the major blue, you know, the really pretty blue, which is my favorite. It's $9.95, I believe. And this part right here, I have one color of blue left to do. This one has 2 colors of blue, one color yellow, one color yellow green. But this one is split between 2 pages. Oh my gosh, I can't stand it.
There's no way you can
It's hard for me to
make a copy
figure it
and then
out.
glue it
Well, I
together,
did make copies, but
and
my
then
eyes,
tape it together.
especially this last 3 weeks, you know. So basically what I've done for the last 3 times I've worked on it, 3 floss tubes that I've worked on this. You know, I keep saying I'm working on the ninja stitches. So this is what I do. I get them all in there. Then I go to put the next color in and I'm like,
Oops.
what in the world did I do?
I'd put the blue in and leave the holes.
So I take it out. And I decide, well, I'm going to do the yellow green one because it's easier to see than just the yellow.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then I went back to put the yellow in and went, what in hell did I do? I was graduating. By the time, this last time, I was saying, what in the hell am I doing? You know, sorry. But
Twice
it's a
you
lot
used that
better
word.
than some of the curse words I hear on
yes,
Flosstube.
but you know, we're
This
trying to
is
keep it
graduating for me because I don't generally speak this way.
clean.
This is what this piece is doing to me. But I will finish it. I will. It is one of my 6 for 60s that I started 2 years ago.
Yep.
And it's on my year of whips, where you choose 10 projects and you try to get at least half of them finished. And I want this one not only finished, but I want to put it in a county fair. After it's fully finished, go put it in a county fair. I don't know what I'm going to do it. Here's my question, Sally. This is what I need help.
What?
Do you see these long stitches? They're long stitches. They stretch that far.
They're like long back stitches.
Okay, so I put those in. And they're tight when I put them in. But the next time I go, I feel like I'm plucking banjo strings on them. They're not tight anymore. So I thought, well, would a pillow really need those kind? Maybe it looks pretty just like this without those little long stitches.
Well, I like the long stitches because it
I did too.
The texture of the feather.
And then I thought, well, maybe what I'll do instead of a pillow, because I already bought the blue backing
Right, yeah, we're going to make a pillow with it.
Maybe instead of a pillow, maybe it'll be a project bag. But if it's a project bag, I definitely can't have those long things
on there.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to that point. I'm not going to do any more of those long strings until I finish it.
Yeah, I would do that last.
And then I'm going to hand it to you and say, if you think it needs the long strings, there you go.
You're going to stitch them.
Then I'm not anymore.
You're
No, I've taken more of the. No, I'm done stitching those long strings. I can't count right. I
can whip those things.
Get them tight. I can't.
I don't know what the deal is.
I
don't know why.
I'm trying not to graduate from WTH to something even worse. So, this weekend.
You taking that one this weekend?
I'm taking this one because I'm gonna at least get that dark blue right there done.
Okay,
Get that part
you got
done.
some fill in, okay.
And then I want to try to get some of these ninja stitches done.
I would do the dark. I would do the blue and then
this teal, especially this teal. I think I could do. At least I could get the teal done if my brain is working while we're there, because we're gonna be other things are gonna be happening in the room.
It is a retreat.
We'll see. But anyway, that's where I'm standing with this piece. It will be done this year.
Okay.
Or burned. One or the other. Because
light a fire on
my brain and here's the thing is, I got a bigger peacock to do.
Yeah, I know. It was
on
a full
the same
coverage.
fabric.
It's a full
2.5 feet tall. With about the same colors. But I'm doing the blue first.
Exactly. I think you should go in and do the blue.
The ninja stitches at all. No yellow will be done on that until the blue is done.
Yeah, I think you should go back, change your stitching habit.
Yeah.
And do the blue ones, and leave the holes for the yellow ones.
But it won't be started until next year because I gotta recover, whatever from that mess. One thing I have been successful at doing now is I have been getting Super Mario. Now, he's halfway done. The bottom half is down there.
You've seen him.
You can't see it, and you won't see it until after this weekend. I've outlined everything on Super Mario, but this white gloved hand over here, it's split between 2 pages, and my brain was like, no. So I did everything else on him, and that's the fill-in I'm going to be working on this week. That's my major project for this weekend, because when I finish him, I've got a piece of brick wall with a flower coming out on each side, and then I got 5 yellow coins across the top. So,
and how are we finishing him?
We're going to frame him.
Okay,
but he might be a project bag. But it's an awful big project bag if that's the case, because, like I said, this is half.
You like big project bags?
Yeah, I do, because I need them, because I try to put my whole project, see my whole project. This one I couldn't do because it was so tall. As it is, I've got wide, but I couldn't do wide and tall because it doesn't really fit in these little Amazon bags, and they're actually the biggest bags at the time that I could find.
Yes, that's true.
So I can get it in there, but it's
tight.
Tight. Anyway, that's all the whips we have.
Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on to whips. All right. So, moving on from whips.
Yes.
We have needles up. Do we have any needles up to discuss?
I have Flosstube issues to discuss.
Oh, well, let me say one thing before you start with your issues.
Okay.
Last time we videoed, I had not been watching Flosstube videos, and I didn't watch any new people. I just watched a couple of the ones that I'd had watched before, like Brenda the Handwork Maniac, because she was showing her I like the way she organizes her mania thing, and she's finished a lot of things off of her calendar, and that allows her to put something in. And then Stitching with My Lidley, and there was somebody else I had watched. Oh, I did watch the Library Stitchers recap from B&E Stitchery. I didn't realize that they have an auction and do a fundraiser for that, and they raised over $14,000.
That was awesome.
Yes, it was.
And it was for Vietnam vets or something like that. It was really awesome.
Yeah, it
was.
was.
My dad was in Vietnam, so that really hit me hard. So yes.
All right, so
I enjoyed that.
Angie.
First of all, I want to give kudos to Pam and staff of Just Keep Stitching, because they recognized Akio Whip in their Flosstube recognition thing. And I was so grateful, because it has totally floored me that they only had like 200 or 300, subscribers. And they'd actually gone up to like 400. Well, now they're up 976 just since Sunday night when Pam and Steph did that.
Mentioned them, yeah.
And somebody needed to bring it. And since then, I've seen Once Upon a Stitch has talked about them. Even though she doesn't have a clue about what Akio Whip means.
Well, if you're not a Potterhead, then you don't know that.
But anyway, it was. I was very happy, because I've always questioned why in the world some people just don't get recognized, and that pair needed to be recognized.
Yes.
There's quite a few floss tubers out there that I'm just like, why, But anyway, very happy to see that they are now almost 1,000 subscribers. And
we're a third of the way there.
I'm tickled pink for them, because I've been watching them. They started in 2023, I believe, when I started watching. I think they started a month before I started watching Flosstube.
See, I started watching Flosstube during COVID, when I was
I didn't start till
at home having to do online instruction.
2022, I think, is when they started. Yeah, I started February 2022.
Because I told you about it. Yeah, probably. I influenced you on that one.
They were one of the first people I watched, and I kind of held everybody to them, as far as. So I love Kevin and Erica. I can't wait when they are on. I watch them first. So.
And they stitch some stuff that I stitch or I stitched.
He's doing that fishing frogs. And that I immediately went and bought.
Yes.
Which I plan to do next year.
Yep.
So first of all, thank you, Pam and Steph, for recognizing. I really, really agree with you. They should be watched. So here's some things I do want to discuss. If you don't like the types of stitching that people do, stop watching them.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't make negative comments. Just watch one of the thousands. People say hundreds, but there are thousands of floss tubes out there.
New ones popping up every day.
There are two specifically that I almost quit watching Flosstube for almost a week, because I couldn't bear to see what other idiocy was said to floss tubers. One was 614 Stitcher.
Is that Candy?
Candy, the 614 Stitcher.
And is she the one that does the
whips? She does your whip. She's one of the first person I saw do that. She and Carolyn Zook are the ones that I first saw do it, and lured me into doing it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
gave you a challenge.
She lost her mother about 3 or 4 months ago, and she ended up having to move completely to North Carolina from Ohio, away from her own children and stuff. First of all, to take care of her mother, and then when her mother died, it's all the house business to take care of, and now she says it's going to be a permanent move. So she does that mental health May.
Yes.
That I love.
Yes.
I think it's very important, especially when it comes to depression. My mom committed suicide in 1975 when depression wasn't recognized as a legitimate disease.
Yeah. They're like, just get over it.
In fact, they believe she had postpartum depression from 2 different children in a row. She never really got over one child when she had the next one. Now that they're saying that's probably what her issue was. But the doctors back then, first of all, they put her in a mental ward for a couple of weeks for supervision and said that she was a hypochondriac, and she just never got any help, and including from us, because we didn't know any better. If the educated doctors didn't know any better,
Correct.
we just followed what they said. And anyway, so to me, mental health really matters. Well, Candy, who's one of the sweetest people, had people comment that she should be over her mom's death by now.
No.
Yeah.
That's awful.
She had to get over it. And I was infuriated because, like I said, my mom died in 1975. That's more than 50 years ago. Well, actually 50 years ago this month. And especially when I'm sick, I'm almost in tears because I want my mom.
And chicken noodle soup.
I miss my mom. I'm doing a piece in memory of my mom. I'm Mother's Day and Memorial Weekend. I try to do Memorial Weekend as a patriotic and try to stay away from, the cemetery aspect completely of it, because that's when my mom died, and she was buried on Memorial Monday, and the whole month of May just stinks to me. So mental health May is important to someone like me, and I'm still not over my mom. Maybe it's because she committed suicide, but it doesn't matter why. Who gets over their mom being dead?
I know.
What kind of heartless person
mine's been
says
gone
that
4
kind of
years,
stuff?
and it's just, yes.
And I was infuriated.
There's a special place in where for that person.
I was I was talking to the TV. I was not in a good mental state at that time. Anyway, so then I watched the Lancashire Stitcher. Did you watch Lancashire Stitcher?
No, I have not watched her in a while.
Her mom said this is a tough time for her because her mom has now been diagnosed for the 4th time with mouth cancer. Wow. And this time her mom has just decided she can't fight it anymore. Yeah, she's had
tired.
Surgeries so much that she has no nerve left here, and she's had treatments and stuff like that, and it's never working. It all just comes back, and it's really bad. It's the worst it's ever been. Her mom made a decision not to fight it.
Quality versus quantity. I understand.
Someone commented that it wasn't that she deserved it, but that the Lancashire Stitcher deserved it because she was stitching dragons and Halloween pieces.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
That's terrible.
I was floored. And at first I thought, she was going to say she was getting out of Flosstube or something because she was really down and stuff. She said, but you know what I turned around and did? I got out a new dragon piece and started.
Good for her.
I was so proud of her for doing that. But still livid that people like that make comments like, if you don't like people doing dragon and Halloween stuff, well, don't watch it.
Exactly. Yeah. If you got nothing nice to say,
I don't do Halloween. I have no problem with people who do Halloween, and if I have a problem with what they're doing, I don't watch it, or I fast forward through that section. Like there are some people who do that a lot of people are doing that Die Hard.
Oh yeah,
curse word, and of the curse word that shall not be named.
Right.
And and I love Jen the Caffeinated Stitcher crafter. But I just fast forwarded through that section when she'd get to that part. And if someone had, like Kevin of Akio Whip, he had a thing that had the F word on it, a needle minder that had the F word on it. I think it was Kevin. And I just went, and just zipped right past it.
I like Kevin's piece that said, the one about the beware the dragons because you're crunchy and taste good.
With ketchup.
Yeah,
I love that one.
That one was funny. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I wore this shirt today that says, be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind. How many times does it say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times it says be kind. And at the bottom, to one another. Yeah. It's actually in the Bible, I don't know how many times.
Correct.
There's a lot. Jesus would never say to someone, well, your mom got cancer because
You're stitching
cross-stitch
dragons.
Halloween pieces. Huh?
Yeah.
He would never. He would comfort them. He would not judge them. I'm a Christian, and it made me very lousy with lividity. I was livid because you just don't do that.
No.
So if you can't be kind, don't rewind. Just get out of there and watch something else. So
Okay.
that's my
Rant. Gotcha.
about. I told you I didn't have anything to say except for Akio Whip. I had nothing, no real Flosstube support like I normally do, because I just felt like that needed to be said more than anything. So,
all right. Well, let's move on to stash investment / stitchy kindness.
I'm gonna start with this one first because
Stitchy kindness.
I'd never heard of this.
Me neither.
This is a Meredith Mark counted cross stitch, and apparently it's a series or something like that, or she has several of these animal pieces. And a friend went to an estate sale and found a bunch of these patterns, and she loves them. But when she saw the whales, she saved it. She set it aside for me and sent it to me. Apparently she's got a set of penguins, and she sent the message that I was not getting the penguins. But and I was willing to accept this from her, but it'll be a while before I get around to stitching it. I've got a lot of whale projects, and I got too much on my plate this year for sure. So I was very pleased. The price in this originally was $3.
Yep.
So I'd never heard of it.
Me neither. It's a hand-drawn pattern.
Yeah,
I didn't even look to see what the copyright was.
It's a hand-drawn pattern,
What's the copyright?
1987.
Oh, okay. Oh, the year I graduated from college.
Our designs are a product of our family's commitment to the creativity in all people.
Thank you.
So it's signed by Meredith Mark.
Yep, there you go.
Anyway, and it's got one of those where, they've stapled in the stapled on things, and this is how they
It's a picture.
do the picture of the, so it's one of those old ones, but I'd never heard of this, and apparently it's a unicorn for a few people, and I was pleased that Sherry thought to share it with me.
That was nice. Well, I picked up 3, well, actually I got 2 of these. This one's, it does, purple doesn't show up. It's lavender, and it came in a 3-pack, so there's a pink one too. And I gave Angie the mint one. But it's just a slider, but it's metal, so you can put a magnet in it. You can put a magnet on it, or I have one sitting on my Lowry stand on top of my magnet. But Amazon, they're small. You can put a couple of needles in it, a needle minder or needle threader, and then throw it in your bag. You just need a small kit. So we're just kind of alternating, aren't we?
Sally shared this with me today. Did you bring yours?
No, mine's on a pair of scissors sitting on my in my stitchy spot.
She got a cat.
Yes.
And she bought the dog for me. Look at that.
It's a keychain, but you can put it on as a scissors fob, put it on your tote bag, your stitching bag, whatever you want to do.
It's got a skein of purple yarn in its mouth.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? I didn't realize that. I should have kept that one for myself. Well, Carolyn Manning runs a clearance sale every month. And yes, I went on the website yesterday and looked, but I paid $3 a piece for these patterns. And the first one is the Seaside Trio Whiskerkins, because it's cats. Well, I did have 3 cats at one time. I'm down to 1 now. But he greets me every morning. He likes to scratch me sometimes too. It's healing though. And then I got this one called Unlikely Friends. Yes, it's a cat, but it's got a mouse with it. It's just adorable. And then I got one of her, well, it looks like a 9-patch. And I don't know that, I think I would stitch it on a lighter green because it's really dark, but it's called Violet. And purple's my favorite color, and green and purple, well, amethyst, peridot. There's the coolest things together.
If, when you like certain things on Amazon, or if they, how they check your designs and stuff like that, they'll try to lure you in with, oh, this is 10% off since you showed an interest in this. Well, I have been showing, for gifts to make for other people that I could quickly do. I had these coasters, diamond painting coasters, and I'm not going to show them, and I'm not even going to tell you what teams they are, but I had liked a couple of football teams for other people, and I realized birthdays, anniversaries, all that stuff's coming up for these people, and I don't have anything ready. So when Amazon brought this up, I was like, thank you.
Perfect.
And I immediately purchased them, and you shall see them hopefully soon.
When you get them done.
When I get, I'm not gonna, there's 6 in a pack, I believe there's 6 of each. I'm not gonna do all 6 and give them all to them at the same time.
No,
you know?
that's 6 separate gifts right
Well,
there.
no, I figured 3 or 2 or something, you know.
True. Yeah, 2's always
But
good.
anyway, is that the last? Oh, the other, do you have any?
I got 2 more
Okay,
patterns
you
to
go
share.
ahead then.
Well, and then the Wishing Thorn does reproduction samplers, and she does some of her own, and she has some freebies too. But you email her, and then she gives you the password to the freebies. And I printed some of those off, but they didn't have a cover picture. But this one popped up, Sally Cradis 1808, and it's a longer sampler. It's not a tall sampler. It's not square. It's a rectangle. And yes, name's not spelled right, but I don't care about that. Since
Well,
my
you
name
can
is
fix
Sally.
that.
I know I can fix that. I tend not to fix that. But anyway, I thought it would be kind of interesting. The fabric, I'm going to choose a lighter colored fabric because that one's a little bit dark for me.
You could have it say your first and last name instead of her first and last name.
Yeah, but I kind of like having
Yeah,
that. And then what I can do is in the alphabet,
Mhm.
I can change the color of the letters for me. I did that with Agnes Lyle. I changed the initials and I put my mother's initials on the side, AF instead. But I still kept the Agnes Lyle part. You know, the one I got the big purple ribbon that Katie still has. I got the purple ribbon. And then the last thing I got, Stitching Mom, like I said, we mentioned Stitching Mommy earlier. And she's got a new temperature stitch out, and it has it's got road stitch, it's got different embroidery stitches, or canvas stitches really, because I've done some of these on canvas, but I've also done, some of the older samplers will have the queen stitch, and she's got Lazy Daisy, but I'm thinking what I want to do is just pick different variegated flosses and do this instead of a temperature chart, and I don't know that I do every single one of them, or all of them. I mean, I could just do like a couple of rows and go from there. I haven't totally thought about what I want to do with that, but I thought it was really neat. And she gives you the stitch diagrams too, which is really important. I mean, I have access to all those because I have pretty much I haven't done the Rhodes butterfly, but I pretty much have stitched every one of the others. Oh, that basket weave is really cute. I hadn't thought about that one. Anyway, I digress on that. So that's my haul purchases.
I only had one more thing, and it's really just DMC, but the last Flosstube, I showed you the June Wordy Bird, which I really want to do. It's got the flamingos in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so I had a friend pick up the DMC for that. Hopefully it's all of them, and I'm not going to be have what happened with Donkey Biscorn U happen to me, but I know that the first Wordy Bird I want to do right now is going to be that one. But then I thought March was going to be the first one because I thought it was so pretty. Now I'm like
the June
but I can't decide on I couldn't decide on the
fabric
until I got the floss.
Oh yeah,
so
that's true.
I'm going to take care of that. And that's the end of our stash acquisitions,
Yeah, the
right?
next thing's just plans.
Okay.
And I know I shared
discussed.
both of these last time I filmed because we weren't really sure when we were going to film in May, because we filmed that. When did we film that?
That was the April.
Yeah, it was in April. So and so my whip that I pulled is the April sheared one, and I'm not gonna show you where I am because I hadn't even stitched anything on that one, and I need to make copies of my pages because yes, when you go from page to page my brain doesn't work. I make copies and then I tape them together or glue it together, whatever I happen to have at that time. And then Angie and I also talked about how we're going to start the South Carolina school from Stitchy Crafty Bluebonnet. Yeah, Crafty Bluebonnet Designs. And so I don't know if I'm gonna wait till the 23rd or I might start it this weekend.
Well, I considered this weekend because that's just filling in a lot of, you know.
It is.
At least the wooden part would be easy enough to do.
Yeah.
Top and bottom. So, yeah,
I'm gonna throw it in.
that.
So we might decide to do that. We'll see.
But May 23rd is South Carolina Statehood Day, so we
Right.
talked about that date. And then I want to do July. I want to finish
Stitching with the
July
housewives, yeah.
because it's just it's so close to being done. And I also, if I get that done during the weekend and I have time, I started that patriotic star that I bought that.
Oh, that's right.
And
Did you restart that?
I need to
Oh, you haven't unpicked
I need
that
to
yet?
finish frogging the spokes on that part, and so I can restart it. We'll see. But
Again, right?
if nothing else, at least July. I really hope to have July done. It would be nice. Whenever our next Flosstube is, it'd be nice to have it done before our next Flosstube, so Sally will have lots of time to get it done for putting it on the July barn.
I have to go back and find my little templates I'd already made.
I have April, May, June, and then August, September, 5 done now. And then
And January.
So that's 6. And then when I finish July, that'd be 7. And then I'm done with that for the year for the barns.
Oh, you're not working on any more of those?
If I do, it'd be October because that'd be the next month, you know.
Oh,
but it's a lot of pumpkins.
Oh,
a lot of pumpkins.
You just pick the pumpkins you want to use.
So yeah, at least it's not snow, but still, you know, it's a lot of orange, and this one loves orange.
Well, I love purple, but orange is a nice accent. If you notice, it's not orange, it's coral.
And you have a purple watch.
Well, yeah, watch band and my medical alert bracelet.
Glasses
purple. Well,
I
my
don't know,
purple readers, yes.
Mine might be more purple than yours. I don't know.
Well, these are readers I got from Walmart, but my glasses I put on at home when I take my contacts out, they're purple framed.
Personally, I reached a milestone of 100 pounds.
I reached 60.
So we're doing well with our
weight loss
situation. I think I reached my milestone because I think they removed that much weight out of my nose.
A pound of crud, huh?
So, well, they cut the cartilage, so, you know.
Yeah, but cartilage doesn't
weigh cartilage.
That doesn't weigh anything.
Yeah, but it sure felt like it when they were cutting it out.
I'm sure it
and I didn't. I had chosen, because I thought they were doing the same thing, I'd chosen no pain. No anesthetic and no pain. All I did was take a Valium.
Ow.
And then he got in there and he said, oh, I need to do more than just cut the crust away from the infection. We're going to have to cut cartilage. So they cut both sides of the cartilage. They punctured down here for drainage. And I think that they removed a lot of cartilage. And I was not expecting that. And then when they talked about having to do it again, I said, you're never getting me in here again for this. Never. So that was an experience.
Sure was.
And I go Monday to find out, you know, what's going on. Insurance, it's all caused by Pseudomonas, which is a bacterium that is antibiotic resistant.
Probably.
And the only thing that they found that actually treats it is an IV antibiotic. Well, the first time I tested positive for Pseudomonas, the insurance made them wait 90 days to test before they tested me again to make sure I still had it. Now we're waiting on the, what do you call it? The pre-authorization?
Oh yeah, prior authorization.
It's already been denied, so, you know, you have to go through like 3 different, you know.
Takes a while.
Yeah, Medicare is not the answer to everything, you know. So just for those of you who think that Medicare is the be-all and end-all for us and it's so easy for us, no, it's not. And the people who make these decisions, anyway.
Yeah.
If I get that antibiotic, hopefully that will take care of it, because the eye doctors will get concerned, because if it reaches my corneas,
Yeah.
There's
not
no fixing your corneas. You know, I got so much
cornea transplant.
damage. Well, yeah, but I mean, there's like the crust and stuff that it's leaving in my nose that you can scrape away. You can't do that to your corneas.
No, that would damage your corneas.
I've got hemorrhages in both eyes, but so far no pseudomonas. And generally, pseudomonas is only found in the corneas, if anywhere in the eyes. So I really hope that they get a move on it to improve, because I don't have much eyesight as it is. I'd like to keep what I got.
Yeah.
But anyway, both of us have been working hard for 2 years now for weight loss.
Mainly mine was since September of last year.
I started 2023, so.
I mean, I had lost some weight, but after my knee surgery a couple of years later, I gained about 20 pounds back, and then I just decided it was time to lose it. So now I'm in a medium, small.
And for those of you who keep asking me, I got off insulin. That was the biggest thing.
I was never on
Got
insulin.
off insulin.
Low carb, moderate
not
protein.
only gain weight, but when you get off of it, it helps you lose weight. You know, it's a diabetic. Plus, I had to go on metformin, which helps you.
See, metformin didn't do
Go to
that
the
whole
bathroom
much
a
for
lot.
me. No, it didn't affect me that way.
That's the way it affected me. I don't have a gallbladder, and that they said that's part of the
probably
reason.
why. See, I have the only thing I got a fake knee.
I also
I
decided to cut my calories in half, because all I do is sit in a recliner, and I thought, why do I have to have this many calories? They were making me have so many calories a day. In spite of the fact that all I do is sit in a recliner and walk my dog on very short walks 6 times a day. Very short. I'm talking very short. And if it rains, even shorter than normal. So anyway, that's how I did it. That's how I'm doing it. And now I'm trying to find like meal replacement shakes for some things.
Yeah, but
and trying to eat more fresh fruit and
whey protein
vegetables.
stuff.
But my teeth are so bad that they.
Smoothies. You could crush it. You could smoothie it with the fruits.
So basically, I like watermelon popsicles.
Yeah, that works.
They're only 50 calories, and they, especially with my sinus infection and stuff, they help with the throat and
the drainage,
all that itchy, scratchy stuff that's going on. So, yep, that's how I did it. And Sally joined a.
Well, through my insurance company, it's a program, and it's a low carb, moderate protein.
Yep. So that's how we've been working on it.
Yep.
There are tons of other floss tubers that have lost weight. Stewart's in Stitches just talked about his weight loss. He says he's done. He wants to stay right where he is. He's happy where he is. He's just hoping he's going to be able to stay, because it's summertime now there, and that means he's got to drink gin in the summertime, which alcohol and.
Sorry, well, White Claws only have 2 carbs, but I also go to the gym 4 times a week.
Yes, I wish.
There's a group of ladies that we get together 4 times a week, and we work on stuff. Yeah. Today we did the 30-minute room where you walk, Planet Fitness. Anyway.
My only exercise is walking Jack. So, and Jack's lost weight. He has lost 2 pounds since I first got him a little over a year ago. And I asked the vet, is that bad? And they said, no, he looks good. So I was worried that I was over walking him or something. I don't know.
Probably not.
He's 9 years old, which some dogs, once they reach 9, that's
old.
it. And he has had a rough life because he's not been well taken care of by previous owners. So I'm really trying to baby my doggy. I love him, love him, love him. He has really changed my life with these walks, because before I just sat in a recliner. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't move except to go to the bathroom maybe 3 times a day. Jack gets me up 6 times a day just to walk him to go to the bathroom.
Which is a good thing.
So he's been a lifesaver for me. So that's how we did it. If you have any questions, be sure to comment below. We love to see your comments. We'd love to have you like and subscribe.
That would be nice.
I want to thank you for joining our Flosstube. I've rambled on more than enough. Sally's been ready to stop for the last 20 minutes.
I just want to get under an hour today.
And we've got to talk about what we're
retreat
taking to the
stuff,
retreats
yeah.
and upload and
And
edit
I gotta
and,
go
all
home
that other
and
stuff.
dry
so
my clothes. I washed them this morning, but I don't like leaving the
I
dryer
don't have
running.
to do any of that, but I got to figure out what I'm supposed to take. So we
Yeah.
got to talk. Anyway, we hope that you're enjoying your weather, whether
Yes.
it's autumn there or spring.
Yep.
I want to wish the people in Ohio who just mowed their lawn for the second time this year. I don't know. I think we mowed our lawns by the second time in February. So here, literally twice a month since February, they mow here, and got to keep those dandelions down.
Yeah.
That's what we have mainly in our yard.
Yeah, that's what I have
dandelions.
in mine too. So about every 3 weeks, my
So-
brother comes over and takes care of it for me.
Yep, and they encourage ants in here, so we gotta get rid of them. So we just cut them down. Anyway, rambling.
Okay.
And so we are signing off now, and that's all, folks.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.